Income taxes. Subchapter A, determination of tax liability. Or qualified foreign corporations. Timmy.
I was thinking I'd take Code Section 179 depreciation on my bicycle. Is that smart?
All right, welcome back here to Thrive America. I'm sitting next to David Cohen. I think I'm the right brain, and you're the left brain in this scenario, maybe?
I don't know. I like to be thought of as a little bit of both.
Gotcha. Well, your thing is whole brain.
Right. Absolutely.
And we'll talk about that a little bit later, about how we can use both parts of our brain.
Whole brain and whole brand.
Whole different than whole brand. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which I had this morning, I think. So you talked about the golden arches, and obviously in branding and we think about McDonald's as the beacon
right.
of success, because you see those golden arches in almost any McDonald's that you go to. It's the same. It's I think it's one of the 3 C's, which you're about to talk about, which
right.
is consistency. So that how can we all be our own version of McDonald's and put ourselves out there by the 3 C's? Let's talk about your tip here on how we can thrive with the 3 C's of branding. Is that right? 3 C's of yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, and it's a great point. Big companies have big budgets to do a lot of things that are tough for a small business to do. But learn their lessons and apply them as best you can. And you know, the 3 C's are really about doing that. Be clear, be concise, be consistent. And the golden arches is a great example, because that's where consistency comes into play. I didn't say McDonald's before. I said golden arches, and you knew what I was talking about. That just demonstrates how good a job they do at that. So identify your opportunities to be consistent. Figure out, you know, if it's in your message, it's in your tagline. If you have the opportunity to use your logo, use it with consistency. Develop a consistent appearance and color scheme. Anytime you can really control the customer experience in a way where you are able to make it repeatable, and therefore, you know, something that's repeatable is something you can tune and adjust. Things that are random are hard to tune and adjust and learn from. So, you know, whether it is being consistent with the signature on your email, or always looking for opportunities to use your logo the same way on your proposals and on your communication with your clients, the signage you use, you know, a lot's going to depend on the type of business you have, but you want to start to build those associations. And if it's different every time, you don't get that buildup. So consistency is very important. Clarity simply means you don't always have a lot of time to communicate. So really spend more time on what you're going to say and how you're going to say it, and where you really want that attention, and stick with it, and get out of the way of it. And to do that, you know, you have to be concise. You know, we have so many opportunities as a small business to network and get out and meet people. And, you know, again, you want to deliver a consistent message, because you're going to meet different people, and they're going to meet each other. And when they compare notes, you hope what they are each saying about you is going to be the same. And if it's a long message, they're going to have a struggle with that. You know, we've just got a lot of things to do, and to ask somebody else to remember, you know, yards and yards of information about you is really hard to do. But if you give them something short and concise, they're better equipped to do that. So I like to look at it as part of your job is to equip the people you meet to be a good connector for you. The only way you're going to do that is be clear, be concise, and be consistent.
You said something to me that offline a little bit that I really am sensing and is resonating with me, which is figure out what you do well and what you're best at, and then under promise. Is that kind of how you worded it?
Well, it's, you know, under promise and over deliver
Right.
is an old maxim, and I like to look at it as, one, steer towards where you want to go, and be aware. You know, branding, you know, and when you get into personal branding, even more so, branding happens whether you're participating in it or not. If you think about the whole reputation thing, you're out there, you're interacting, you're providing service, you're delivering a product. People are having reactions to that, and that affects your reputation. If you're not conscious and you're not aware of what's going on, it's just happening around you. So, I say be involved in those things, but steer and set the expectations towards what you want to do, towards what you're best at delivering, where your skills are, where your passions are. If you're steering people towards activities and services and interactions that you're passionate about, you're going to do a better job, and they're going to have a better experience. And in the end, that's going to build a better reputation. But if you find yourself cornering yourself, forcing yourself to offer services that you're not excited about, that you're doing half-heartedly, or you've overstretched your abilities and you don't really have the skills to deliver a great job, yet you promised one, you're really in danger of creating a damaging reputation for yourself. And we live in a day and age with the internet where, the internet doesn't forget. It's very hard to scrub the memory of the internet. So if people have such a bad experience with you that they go out of their way to put a negative review, that's trouble. And it takes a lot of positive to overwhelm a negative.
Yeah. If I were watching this right now, I think I'm to the point now where, hey, okay, I get it. I need to improve my brand. I need to be clear. I need to repeat it. I need to let my reputation. Is there anything that you can reveal? Any kind of exercise? Any sort of maybe a great book comes to mind? Is there something that after watching this I could go a worksheet or something that I can do that will help me to improve my brand almost immediately?
Sure. I run a book club, so I can give you a reading list.
And we'll put a link. We'll put a link to that
sure.
for you. Yeah.
Author that I think is great, Patrick Hanlon, concept called Primal Branding. Doug Atkin, The Culting of Brands, and almost anything by Seth Godin I think is terrific. Okay. So we can put some links there. I haven't finished my book yet, so all in good time. But I think if you're looking for a starting point. Think about the activities that you spend about 80-90% of your time. It's probably going to be a short list, 3 to 5 things, 3 to 5 products that you do, or services, or types of customer that you serve. And ask yourself, which ones are the best revenue for you? Which ones do you have the best skills to service? And which ones are you the most passionate about? And take a look at where those factors overlap. And if you're finding a cluster around, 2 out of the 3, or ideally 3 out of the 3, steer towards that. Put your message around that. And don't worry about trying to make your message cover this blanket of things that we can all do. I mean, I assume most of the people I meet are really capable and have a lot of things that they can offer. But there's going to be something that they're better at. There's going to be something that they've got more heart and soul that they're going to put into. I advise them steer towards that, because they're probably going to get work on some of the other things if they're doing a great job, but they want to build their reputation where they want their reputation to take them. And that's vital, and it's scary when you're a small business person. You're afraid to turn down anything. You're afraid that you're going to miss opportunities or miss your market. And what I see is sometimes people build businesses and work really hard and end up having a business that really isn't what they're passionate about.
Yeah. It's like we want to we're coming out of the gate as a business owner and we're trying to do maybe too much. But what can you do as a business owner that so think about this. What are you passionate about? What do you think that you can do well? What can you over deliver? Because why? Because you love what that is and you're passionate about it. So you're gonna exceed the expectations. You're gonna do whatever you can to do that. We're gonna switch gears a little bit, David, in our third segment. Think about what advice you could give me. and also in what sort of revolutionary, if you could invent something in the future in your industry, what would that be?
All right.
That would change the way we perceive branding. So we'll be right back with our final segment with David, so don't go anywhere.